This notion, this is sort of part two of our view of the subtle body in meditation, how to work with what we can call in Buddhism, what we call Sambhogakaya. Sambhogakaya. If you recall, there are three bodies. There is Nirmanakaya, the form body, or physical manifestation of who we are. Sambhogakaya, the energy body. Really, it's sort of kind of the body of subtlety, of sensation, of form, of rather of feeling rather than form, and includes the sensations as well as the subtler energetic qualities, prana, breath, vitality. All of that is part of Sambhogakaya, which is this kind of energy body that we inhabit and actually allow us to change and to work with consciousness in a way that is noticeable in the physical body. So, and then the third body is Dharmakaya, which is the body of truth or body of wisdom, the body of the teachings, which is ultimately consciousness itself. That insights we get, wisdom that comes to us, we receive because of Dharmakaya. This is also thought to be the mind of the Buddha, this ubiquitous quality of consciousness that is actually formless, but that brings us insights, brings us skillfulness, and so on. And in some traditions, there is a fourth body called Svabhavikakaya, which is includes the first three, and it's largely just our existence as complete non-duality, where there is no me versus you, but we are all basically oneness. And so our what we're looking at is that second body, Sambhogakaya. Last week we did what did we do? The orbital breathing, which is a Salung practice. Salung is wind exercise in Tibetan. And it's a practice where we're working with the vital energy channels in the body. We're going to do something similar to that tonight, something that my dear friend Lama Willa um, has named the mother channel breathing, which makes a lot of sense. It's something that we've kind of done before here when we've done spinal breath in three parts, which is a yogic breathing exercise. We're going to do a little bit of that to get us going in a bit. We're going to also look a bit at this sort of column that runs from the crown down to the base of the spine that is used in Vajrayana Buddhism and some of the more esoteric practices as a way to purify, to build up some heat in the body, and also to clear obstacles so that we are much more light and more in touch with our ground, the ground of our mind. So, just a few words about Sambhogakaya, um, about this body of energy, what might also be called a bliss body, body in which sensations can go from feelings of heaviness, sorrow, grief, dissatisfaction, agitation to great heights of joy. And all of these experiences resonate, they vibrate within us, within this body as energy. And part of the practice of sort of working with this energy body that we have is, first of all, to recognize when we're meditating, yes, we are grounded in a body, we are situated in a body, the body is keeping us rooted. And we're aware that we are in space and time, what's called proprioception, right? Being in this place, in this time, in an embodied way. And this is vitally important to our practice. And to also see who we are as fluid, as vibrating in ways where we're attuning more to energy than physical matter, than solidity, than permanence, but rather attending to the impermanence of every experience as it arises and then disperses, and feeling that through the body. So, what this helps us to do is to begin shifting our own consciousness, our own awareness from seeing the world in the forms, in the concreteness that it appears to us, in which it appears to us, and seeing everything in the form of energy. And this is profound for our sort of evolution or progress with meditation, is just experiencing and seeing everything in terms of energy, not so much in terms of fixed, uh, permanent structures and forms. Yeah. And so when we do this, we're attuning to this body of energy. This is something as opposed to proprioception, which is feeling the body in space and in time, is it's located here, to something called interoception, what some researchers have called interoceptive awareness. Now, when the clinical world talks about interoceptive awareness, they're often talking about paying attention to sensations, paying attention to feeling states and emotions. This is very much like Buddhism as well. And yet, what this is inviting us to do is to take our awareness even deeper than just experiencing kind of these vicissitudes of who we are, but rather experiencing ourselves almost as a microcosm of the macrocosm of creation, so that we're not just this isolated, separate being on our own, on our cushion, or lying down, or on retreat, or wherever we may be, but that we always continue to be so deeply a part of creation and the universe, ultimately of other beings too, in our state of interdependence. This is the truth of things. Ignorance is seeing everything as totally separate, in this kind of discriminative awareness where I'm this and you're that, but rather forgetting or not even willing to see kind of our interdependence, or what Thich Nhat Hanh calls our interbeing. And so the Sambhogakaya, this energy body, is really important in ways for us to start attuning to the flow and the flux of what is going on within us. And this is why interoceptive awareness here, what we might otherwise call interoceptive conscious awareness, meaning that we are consciously aware and intentional about the nature of our interior experiences, and that those experiences are also connected to that which is around us, that we're not just having a closed system experience, but we're experiencing ourselves within this great universe of creation. Um, and so within that framework, we can see how breath, what is called prana in Sanskrit, this vital energy as we breathe, we're not just breathing in air and breathing out carbon dioxide, you know, but we are taking in vitality. We are taking in, as much as we are energy, we're also taking in energy. We're unifying with the vital energy at very subtle levels here. You know, we're sort of vibrating, resonating with that energy as we breathe. So breath is this is one reason why it's very important. It's not just there to relax, to kind of groove out on, hey, I'm finally relaxing. That's great. But to be conscious of what in fact is happening as we breathe in, and what it is we're letting go of, and what is kind of unfurling as we breathe out. Breathing out is this great sort of relinquishing, this letting go, and breathing in is this sort of intake of vitality. So the breath is very much tied into our thoughts in this case, our sort of mental processes. So when we make this conscious and intentional, we can begin to work more creatively and more spontaneously as we meditate with whatever arises. Really quite extraordinary, this practice of mother channel breathing, this central channel. And this will build basically on what we're doing with spinal breath, which is to be locating that central channel, what is called shushumna in Sanskrit, In Vajrayana, it's called the avaduti. Avaduti. That's the the energy channel that corresponds roughly with the spine, with the spinal column. Only in front of it, so right in the center of the body, from the crown to the base of the spine.